Hey friends, welcome to another episode of Getting Close Up, the show focused on independent artists and creatives. I'm your host, Danielle Cox, and while I have your attention, go ahead and join the GCU fam today by liking, subscribing, and dinging the notification bell so you do not miss a thing. I love people who love food, almost as much as people who love music. Those are my two favorite things. And my guest today is taking her love of food and using it to spread joy that consumes the world. Today, we are getting close up with Christina Clark. Hello.
Hi, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. And I promise we didn't bring you on just because you cook. We didn't bring you on for the food. We're going to get into you later, but I need to know what's going on here. What are we doing?
So today we have fried rice. I chose this dish to bring to you guys today because it is such a simple meal, but also it's been a staple in my childhood. My mom used to make this all the time, balling on a budget.
Yeah.
It is the first meal that I made when I started doing my meal prep business too.
Oh, wow. So it means a lot to you.
Yeah, it's the go-to. So we're going to start with a hot griddle here, season it up with some sesame oil.
Oh, yes. Love the smell of sesame oil.
Just to give us a nice base. And the cool thing is I got this this regular rice here. We're just going to go ahead and dump her on.
And the thing about the rice, it usually has to be a day old, right?
Usually, yeah, but I made this fresh this morning.
Really? See, you're a pro. That rice looks really good.
I'm just going to toss that on there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Ain't no thing.
And so you were talking about how your mom used to make this all the time. Is this cultural significance, for this dish as a whole? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so my mom is a Vietnamese Chinese immigrant. She immigrated through the war. So that whole love of food comes from just being around the dinner table with our entire family. My aunt, uncle, and grandparents lived in a house just down the street from us. So we would always gather over a huge pot of fried rice.
Oh, wow. So it's a family thing.
Family thing for sure. Yeah. All right. So now
getting it all broke up. Made a little well in the middle.
A little well. I'm going to go ahead and toss the onions and garlic in to get those sauteed down.
Oh, yes. It's going to smell good up in here. It already smells great. Because I can tell that skillet is well seasoned.
Yes.
Because you turn it on and it smells like food is cooking and there's no food happening. That's how you know that skillet is saying some love.
This is a garage find from my mom's garage. So anytime I go back and visit my mom, we call it shopping.
I was going to say, he was like, oh, you went to a garage sale. My mom's garage.
So I always come back with a new goodie from my mom's house. So we're going to get this sit for just a moment while we add in my favorite part.
Oh, what's that?
The eggs.
The eggs. Yes, we were talking about your love of eggs.
I love eggs.
And how, unfortunately for me, one of the things that kind of stops me cold in my foodie journey is the fact that I don't like runny yolks. And I hate that because everything's got a runny yolk. All the good stuff.
Yes.
Has an underdone egg or something like that. But you are obsessed with eggs.
Slurp up a whole just single egg yolk in soup.
I wish I could do that. That is a superpower. Unfortunately, my dad ruined that for me. Undercooking eggs but putting cheese in it, so I can't tell if it's a cheese or egg.
Ooh, yeah.
You ever had some of a confusing
texture.
taste where you're not sure what's what, and that's what happened.
That is a weird texture. I'm so sorry for you.
Yeah, thank you. I accept your condolences, and I accept them in the form of fried rice.
Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure. So we're adding in some ham chunks and some mixed frozen vegetables.
Nice. So yeah, this really could just be stuff out of your freezer.
Exactly.
And just anything that you have on hand.
You should almost always have all of these ingredients. So it's super easy, cost effective, feeds a crowd, and I'm very Asian of me. I love rice. It is so filling. It's such a versatile ingredient.
It's very versatile. Yeah, you can do anything with rice.
This is my secret sauce.
I was going to ask about that next. That's a secret sauce. I didn't even get to see how she mixed this, so I can't even tell y'all what's in it.
We're just going to toss that on in there.
Ooh.
Would you like to try your hand at mixing this?
I would love to, but I'm going to sniff this first. Ooh, okay.
Ooh. So now it's just getting all the ingredients incorporated.
You know what? I'm going to try, but you know what? I'm kind of disaster prone, so
you got this. I believe.
I don't want to. You know what? I'm going to try. So what did you do? You kind of like did a push,
just push and
a pull.
Yep, there we go.
Push and pull. Okay, girl.
Look at
you.
Little
nugget there.
Chef Danielle.
Oh man, it smells so. Y'all, this smells so good right now. Okay, all right. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and give it back over to the chef because I'm getting a little too comfortable. When I get too comfortable, accidents happen. So
you did great. You did half the work for me.
So I'm guessing too, that's also where you learn how to cook, like watching your mom.
Yes, absolutely. Always in the kitchen. Some of my earliest memories are just peeling shrimp. Just over the sink, peeling shrimp with my sister.
Oh, it's a very sweet memory. And people that know Christina, you want to be around when she's cooking. When she decides to get a flair to just, you know what, I'm going to make a bunch of egg rolls. This is where you want to be.
Yeah. Providing food for people is my love language. There's no greater joy that I get than providing a comforting dish to someone.
That's really awesome. Again, that's why food people are my favorite people, because I also receive love through food. It's like, you give love through food, and that is how I receive it.
It's a give to get.
What would you say was the best dish that you've ever made?
Ooh, that is tough because I like almost everything that I make. I'm a big noodle person, so I would have to say homemade pasta in any capacity.
Ooh, and that's a labor of love for sure.
Oh my gosh, but it's like also therapy because taking the time to roll out that pasta and shape it, that's good for me.
See, I want to learn how to make pasta. So I'm going to have to, one time we're going to have you come back and you have to do a little pasta making class.
Absolutely.
Because I definitely would love to learn how to make pasta. Because I love a good noodle. Absolutely love a good noodle.
Love a good noodle.
I love a good noodle. Wait, that's different. Noodle, that's different. Yeah, so.
That is all she wrote.
Oh, wow. Yes.
It is done. If you like spicy, I like to plate it up with a little James Chang chili oil. Shameless plug.
Ooh, yes.
He's a local chef. Huge celebrity in my eyes. Like local celebrities. So yeah, I stand by James Chang chili oil.
Ooh, I'm with it. I'm ready to try it. Let's get these plates out. Move some of this stuff, girl, because we are about to get in it. Love everything about this. Oh, that's so pretty.
We got a runner.
So runner, she's a track star. Running right off the plate.
There we go.
Oh, love it. Well, that was fun. And now I get to try it, which is even better. Okay. That hits. That hits. That gives all the flavors that you expect. But it was put together so quickly and so easily.
Yeah. I couldn't even wait for you to get situated. I'm halfway through.
But I'm going to tell you something else. That chili crisp oil that you plugged, this stuff is delicious. Has a whole nother dimension. And you told me a very funny story about meeting the chef that made that. So tell me about that.
Yeah, so I went and dined at Waldo Thai with family, and James Chang came out, and he was our server that day, and I was like, oh my God, you're James Chang. A little bit, huh? And he goes, wait, you're Christina.
Hold on, whoa. He knew who you were? He know who you are? You is?
He knew name. Him no name. I was flabbergasted.
What?
And it took so much in me to just keep myself composed and be able to have an educated conversation like people do.
That is so awesome.
Because I was like, oh my God.
And that's how you know that you are a food girl, because to stand a local chef and their products and to that point, and then they knew who you were, that's pretty awesome.
I was like, Mom, did I make it?
I feel like I made it. This is making it. Yeah. This is what made feels like.
It was really good. It was such a positive experience. I hold these local celebrities, these local chefs. They're really high on my radar.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to compose myself around them, but say like Beyonce walks through the room, I'd be like, hey girl, what's up? Cool, kicking it?
I have not had your fried rice, girl, so I don't know what to tell you. The beehive can come for me, but whenever I had her fried rice. So now being a fan of chefs, local chefs and everything, but working in the culinary field is a whole different beast and animal. Talk to me about some of your first experiences working in food.
Yeah, so I've been in the restaurant industry for 12 years now. It was one of my first jobs still in high school, and I wanted to work in the kitchen, but instead was placed front of house. So it was kind of like I was fighting for my right to get back of the house. Right, to try to go back there, yeah. And I've tried to go away and do the adult thing and have those corporate jobs, and it literally sucks the soul out of me. Like, I felt like I was dying.
I get it.
So time and time again, I've come back to the restaurant industry. I'd say my first, like, real professional role in the industry was working as a private chef at Hyso Club in Puerto Rico. So I would go there seasonally.
Okay.
Can't stand Kansas City winters.
Like,
I really can't.
That is one way to get out of it. Cooking in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so I cooked for some really cool people that way. Ended up making friends with a bar owner down there as well. Sold dumplings through that place. So I kid you not, I folded 500 dumplings over the course of 2 days and had them there so they could sell. And though I have no solid proof, Bad Bunny ate my dumplings, okay?
Oh, wait.
Lay that out there.
Wait. Because we're going to go with that lore. So why do you think, how did that?
So Bad Bunny's from Puerto Rico, lives there, and was just out and about in Old Santurce and stopped into this bar and
he ate the dumplings, girl.
The owner of it is like Snapchatting me and he's like, hey, and it's like Bad Bunny in the background eating my dumplings, and I was like,
That's it right there. That's it right there. No wonder.
Light work.
No wonder. And for those rewarding moments and everything, I know it's also a really high pressure environment and kind of intense. I recently gotten into The Bear and like binged the mess out of it. It's like one of my favorite shows ever now. But talk to me a little bit about some of the challenges that you may have experienced in a high pressure kind of environment like that.
Yeah, I really do like The Bear as a show, but I think it's kind of glamorizing toxic kitchen culture, which a lot of us come from.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough that I've never really had that experience, being that I work for myself, that I've worked strictly in places that I love and admire. Like,
right.
I've been at the Combine for so long now. I was able to cater the owner's baby shower, actually.
Shout out to the Combine.
Was a huge deal for me, an honor. I'd say the hardest things that I come across is just having enough faith in myself. I'm plagued with the inability to ask for help, and I'm also so avoidant of being perceived. So like adding a label like private chef, caterer, whatever it may be, I don't want people to perceive me as just that. So that's been my biggest kind of roadblock.
Yeah, and then so the thing about food, when you make food for somebody, like, I'm not a chef, but I've cooked a lot of meals for a lot of people who I care about very much. And sometimes when you make something, it becomes their favorite. And sometimes when you make something, it ain't hitting.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine, because sometimes when somebody tells me, that wasn't really your best, I feel some type of way. I shouldn't, but I do. I'm nervous for them eating my food and enjoying it. So only imagining on a scale where somebody's paying for your food and then paying you to make the food that people pay for, how much more stressful that can be and a hit to your self-esteem a little bit.
Yeah, I trust myself, and I also don't often taste the dishes that I'm sending out, which is problematic to a T. So then I'm just sitting there like, God, what if they hate it?
You don't even know
what
it
if I
tastes like.
oversalted it? Like, oh my God. Yeah. But I also receive criticism pretty well.
Oh, that's good.
Like my partner, whenever I make dinner, I'm like, you can tell me if it's bad. Because if you don't tell me that it's not it or it needs to be improved in some capacity, I'm going to take this and sell it.
Right.
So that's your fault, not mine.
You have to be my first line, like to help me succeed. You have to like give me notes and tell me things. I had someone in my life who I made something for them and they ate it, but I didn't find out until maybe 2 or 3 years later that they hated it.
Oh.
And this whole time I'm thinking, oh, they like it. I'm just going to keep making it. And no.
I've dropped the ball on several dishes. And a lot of those dishes I just won't come back to until I'm ready, which oftentimes is never.
That kind of ties into my other question I wanted to ask you because, you know, in this type of line that could be instant gratification or immediate rejection, how do you take those notes and start honing your skills to make what you're doing better?
I don't. I'm sorry. It's so problematic. I don't.
I mean, that's an honest answer. Straight to the point.
I should be a little more like palatable, right? Like, oh, well, if you don't like it, how do I fix this for you? Right. How do I cater to you? But I don't make food for people, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I make food that I enjoy, and I trust my palate.
I trust my palate. And if your palate is not where my palate is, no, I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't make food for other people, and I think that's a strong suit. I make it for me, and then the joy that I get from watching other people consume that food is really all that it's about. So, like, I don't know, maybe I've just gotten super lucky and I don't have a lot of negative feedback come my way.
Yeah.
Or where they're like, oh, you could improve on this, or that was trash. So I'm just a lucky girl.
And so it's like, you know, but tying that with like the kind of the nervousness and anxiety that sometimes you get over it, it's just one of those things, you know, and trying to figure out that balance that you keep trying, you keep going, and you say, you know what, I'm making the kind of food that I like, and this is what I'm going to serve.
Yep. I am proud, but I am nervous.
I am proud, but I am also nervous. Two things can be true. And going back to the bear a little bit, and just in general, if you pay attention, you can walk down the street and 3 restaurants will pop up, and then after a little while, there's no restaurants. Restaurants are notoriously known for being a very risky business, something that often fails. So in thinking about your business plan for yourself, how are you approaching it in order to try to be able to spread the love of your food everywhere?
Yeah. So at 28 years old, which I am now, very recently, maybe within the last 3 months, is when I finally decided this is what I want to do with my life. I want to have my own. I want to have my own restaurant of some capacity. And I have some ideas that I'm not quite ready to share with the world yet until I know that someone else isn't going to beat me to it, because it is a competitive space.
Very competitive.
If you can find a niche that's going to guarantee make money, they're going to swallow it up. So I'm not quite ready to share that plan yet. But
that's understandable for sure.
I'm also working on a slow build. So meal prepping twice a week or twice a month, where I, have a small menu and people can have those, because we're all so busy.
Super busy.
So many of my friends come home from work and just go straight to bed, but they miss that step of nourishing themselves. So I've been able to build a small clientele of that. And the slow build has started snowballing rather quickly. Here I am.
Yeah, girl.
Never in a million years would I have figured, I, Christina, would be on a podcast about my food.
Dude, your first cooking segment, which is my first cooking segment too. So much fun.
Yeah, so slow build, trusting the process, but also not backing down. I want to have my own, but I don't want that own to be anything super fancy. I have no desire to be a Michelin star restaurant. I have no desire to be that restaurant that's breaking the boundaries. I just want to be a comfortable space where you can build that community and know that you're going to get a good meal that's been locally sourced, and that's not going to break the bank.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's really important, is understanding what your values are when it comes to your craft and what it is that you want to put out there, so that you can stay true to that and understand what success looks like for you.
Yeah. So
expounding on what success would look like for you, talk to me a little bit about the plans or some of the things that you've had to do to really start making this happen? Like, some of the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah, so it's funny enough, last night I got a fortune from the little Zoltaire fortune. I'm addicted. And this one really resonated with me because it says that basically I am one of those people that is afraid of change. If I'm not too keen on saying yes to opportunities that aren't within my spectrum and my scope.
Okay.
And that's how I've been able to be successful, is by recognizing that and getting offered an opportunity. Like the Puerto Rico situation was, I'd couch surfed at this guy's place when I went to visit one time, and the next winter he goes, "Hey, I'm in need of a private chef. Are you down?" Girl, I'm a nanny. I was a nanny at the time.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So success to me also looks like being happy. I just want to be happy and live a life that's not constantly weighing me down, where I can relax and have those off days, which is unheard of in the restaurant industry.
Unheard of, yeah.
But also where I get to nourish other people. That's what success is to me, is taking care of other people. And taking care of yourself.
And taking care of yourself in
that part.
And taking care of yourself with good food encourages you even more to take care of other people with good food. This is what it does for me. Let me share that with you.
Yeah.
And I love that. Again, that is why food people are some of my favorite people.
Well, and like the end goal, right, is to have that entity, that thing. And that, to me, would be peak success, because that's what my mom always wanted to do. My mom has worked way too hard, being the immigrant that she is, for me to live a life that doesn't fulfill me.
I know that's right. It's like, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams.
They
manifest.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about some things that people, when you have the dream to put something together and you're thinking about, oh, these are what the napkins are going to look like, and this is what the menu is going to look like, and this is the food I'm going to serve. But when it comes down to some of the big things that you need to talk about, like money, funding, how to put this together, because you've had experiences working in brick and mortar, also a food truck, and cycling through different manifestations of service of different restaurants. And people, like you said, try to latch on to whatever the trendiest thing is. So talk to me about how you've had to game plan when it comes to money and things like that to want to start this idea.
Yeah, my first experience with like cost breakdown would have been private chef in Puerto Rico. I had, clients pay me first, but then I'd have to make sure that what they're paying me makes sense for the food that I'm serving. And in my own personal business, it's like I have to have the ingredients and the product and the boxes and the labels first before I'm like, here's this thing that I'm making. I'm really good at grocery shopping, and I love it. I know most people don't.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I'm really good at it, and for a household of 2.5, you could say, less than $150 a week. Pop off, queen. But it's just being mindful and paying attention. Like, oftentimes I'll look at the different stores and the different farms and cross-compare quality of product, also price.
And building relationships, I'm sure. Especially if you're wanting to, use local means. It's like you kind of got to build those relationships.
I've got some favorite farms. Recently, one of my favorite farms has been herbivore farms. Some of the best produce that I've gotten over the course of the years. Stunning. Love them.
Yeah, it's really important to start, making those connections and things before you have it, your restaurant or your vision or whatever it is, because those relationships are what help you move through that process a lot easier.
When I have my brick and mortar, if I ever have a brick and mortar, those are going to be the people who take care of me, who provide the food that I'm serving. They're going to be the customers that come and sit at my table. And I also know that, I'm not, listen, I have some crazy ideas, I'm a little crazy girl.
Oh, I couldn't even tell. I have no idea.
So I know that because I have those ideas, I should not go into business on my own. My ideal is like a trifecta. three moving parts so we can balance each other.
That's really important.
Yes.
Knowing where your strengths and weaknesses are, and then finding people that can help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
So talk to me about your journey in finding and trying to connect with the right people. Where are you in that process?
Yeah. So like I said, right, tried to leave the industry, come back time and time again. The Combine is exactly where I found that. And when I tell you, like, it makes me emotional, I cried in public the other day because I was so grateful for this place and these people. I get to learn about owning, operating, and managing a restaurant by two people that I highly admire. Alan and Charles have been such great assets to me in answering questions and guiding me and teaching me. I can't say enough good things. I'm not going to cry on camera because I love my job. But I'm fortunate for that. People want to feed into me. They give me opportunities, and I don't know why, but I'm grateful for it.
I think it's a lot of what it has to do with the energy that you give off, for sure. You do give off very grateful energy, very open energy, and being able to receive feedback. I'm pretty sure when you run a restaurant or anything that you're doing in management in general, the first kind of person you usually run into is somebody who's not open. And so when you run into someone who is open, it's refreshing. It is a beacon. It's just like, oh, let's just flood everything with that. If we could clone you, we would clone you, because it's really important to have that. Again, in a high pressure environment that can be very stressful. It's very stressful to run a restaurant, and to have somebody that's dependable and refreshing is great. So that's my 2 cents on it, just from the high level of what I've been able to see.
Thanks.
So let's talk about what you are getting into now. So you're getting ready to start a new venture with meal prepping and working on that. Talk to me a little bit about the concepts that you have for the food that you want to be able to do.
Yeah, so I had to fine tune. Did I want to be a private chef that showed up and worked on site? Do I want to be a caterer that could potentially be feeding mass amounts of people?
Right.
No.
She already knew the answer to that one.
So I've landed on currently meal prepping, and I like to think of this as my incubation stage. Get, a handful of people that I can regularly feed, and that starts to stockpile, the savings. It pads that account so I can move in to owning a restaurant, doing pop-ups. So meal prepping is I want to have bi-weekly a set menu of 3 or 4 different options at reasonable prices, pickup or delivery, because I know life's busy. That's the whole point of meal prepping.
Delivering things is super important.
Yeah, well, I hate driving, so I'd have to ask for help on that. But yeah, doing the meal prepping is nice because it gets that word out there. But I also, outside of those bi-weekly menus, at any given time, or once a month, hey, I'm selling egg rolls. I'm doing dumplings. I'm doing fried rice.
I need to get on that mailing list.
Yeah. So the best way that I've currently found is, I use Instagram as my main point right now.
That's smart.
But by the end of the year, I would like to have a little website. And I was talking with a friend actually last night about that, who's a software engineer.
Ooh,
and I was like, do you have any interest in working with me on building a website? There's all these things that I could and should do and should already have at this stage in my life, but fear stops me. Fear of failure. So
no, I get that. And the coulda, woulda, shouldas are one of the biggest detractors to our progress, because could, would, and should actually start today. Whether you would, whether you could, all of that starts right now. You already know that you should be doing this. You already know that you're fit for it. So the choices you make right in this moment become, what did I do? This is what I have done. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, the best thing is advocating for myself.
That's right.
So the more I share what I'm doing, what I've been doing, that means that's so many more people who are going to hold me accountable. Hey, what's new? What do you have coming up?
Because I'm going to try to get on that egg roll mailing list. I'm going to tell you what. So I will be holding you accountable to that.
Absolutely. Harass me if you need to.
I don't have a problem with harassing somebody for egg rolls.
Where are the egg rolls?
Where are the egg rolls? Oh, I will do it. I got to deepen my voice, so I'm going to have to like be more intimidating because that didn't sound
You're
as
going to pull up
intimidating.
with the whole GCU crew just knocking on the door. Give us the egg rolls.
Listen, Dee has already started that cycle. You know it. A lot of times we'll be taping and she's like, well, Christine's cooking tonight. We're getting ready to head over there.
No, Misty's awesome. I love her.
So after you get this established and everything, what are you looking at on the horizon? What is in the future? When you see yourself in the future, what do you see?
I mean, ideally, I see myself like kicking it on a beach during the winter months, but
I mean, that's...
we're talking about food.
Yeah, we are.
Food-wise, I'd like to have, and this is a pipe dream, I'm sure, like ask any restaurant owner, I'd like to have something that's self-sufficient, but that would also mean I'd have to release that control and write out all the recipes and make sure I'm hiring staff that can do that. Yeah, so my end goal is I'll be doing this for the rest of my life.
I was about to say, you just kind of started sweating a little bit as you said it. Like this is what you want for your future, but you started sweating just a little
Babe,
bit.
are you sure you're still in with this?
It's a big commitment. It's a big commitment for the people in your life and around you and everything. So absolutely.
But leaving that legacy, like, it'd be worth the work to me.
Yeah, and not to mention the way that the chefs that are out there have inspired you, and then you could come up to a table one day.
Can I be someone's James Chang one day?
You could be someone's James Chang.
Amazing.
You could come up to their table and it'd be like, oh my God, it's Christina. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be really cool. And also very intimidating. I like the social anxiety where I'd be like, no, it's not me.
It's like your picture is like right there on the... That's hilarious. So I got one more question for you. One more question. Death row meal, right? You've done something really terrible. You're on death row. What would be your final meal? Go.
Off the top of my head, this is so shameless, a cheeseburger from McDonald's.
You know what? I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
They're so consistent.
That or spicy ramen noodles. Like bulldog spicy.
You can have both.
This is your
death row meal.
I'm having a cheeseburger.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm having bulldog spicy ramen because I want to
right.
feel something for one last time.
One last time.
And then I'm probably following it up with a very specific item, which is my new hyperfixation. Belafonte home-style vanilla ice cream, which I will be getting after this. So that's my meal. And a Pepsi.
No. And a Pepsi.
Extra ice.
Oh, are you going to put like the vanilla ice cream in the Pepsi?
No.
Make it float?
You don't ruin good Pepsi.
Oh, dang.
She's crazy.
I am a little bit, not gonna lie. Well, how did you let everybody know where they can keep up with you and harass you for egg rolls?
Yeah, getting close up with Christina. Harass me for egg rolls at Christina_consumes the world. Be on the lookout for updates, menus, and just like say hi because I like people.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for the rice because this was amazing, and I am going to finish the rest that I have here on this plate if I don't put it in a little baggie and take it home.
No, not the rice bag.
A bag. I will put anything in a baggie. I don't have a problem.
I've showed up to bars with egg rolls in bags, so I get you. I feel you.
The things that I have taken into a movie theater in a baggie. We could probably write a book about it.
Oh, yes.
And we might. But I'm so excited to see what's next for you. And don't actually harass her, y'all. We're being funny. But keep up with her for sure. You're not going to want to miss what happens next with this one. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Again, all the links that Christina gave will be down in the description box below, so make sure you check her out. If you had as much fun as we did, make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe so we can keep bringing it to you. New episodes of Getting Close Up air bi-weekly on Fridays, but then make sure that you tune in to me and Dee as we give you the tea on what's hot and what's not with GCU Review. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys for watching. You're the best part of all of this, and I will see you again soon for another Close Up. I'll be checking for you. Bye.